হ্যালো, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। কেমন আছেন সবাই? আশা করি সবাই ভালো আছেন। আমাদের এভিওটেক হ্যান্ডি ফিল্ম চ্যানেলে আপনাদেরকে স্বাগতম। ওকে, আপনাদের সাথে অনেকদিন আসলে কোনো লাইভ হয় না। তো আমরা আজকে ১ম এ আ এই লাইভটা করতে যাচ্ছি এভিয়ন এয়ারস্পেস এডুকেশন নিয়ে। তো এভিয়ন এয়ারস্পেস এডুকেশন আপনারা জানেন যে আমাদের একটা এডুকেশন আ কনসালটেশন প্রোভাইডিং প্ল্যাটফর্ম, যেটা আমাদের এভিওটেক হ্যান্ডি ফিল্ম থেকে তৈরি হয়েছে। তো আজকে আমরা এই এভিয়েটেক এবং এভিয়ান এয়ারস্পেস এডুকেশন এই ২ টা কোলাবোরেশন করে একটা সেমিনার আয়োজন করেছি, যেটাতে হচ্ছে আমরা ইউএসএ তে কিভাবে পাইলট ট্রেনিং করা যায় সেটার নিয়ে আমরা বিস্তারিত আলোচনা করব। আমরা রিসেন্টলি এভিয়ান এয়ারস্পেস এবং সেই ইউএস এর সেই ফ্লাইং একাডেমির সাথে একটা চুক্তি স্বাক্ষর করেছি। তো সেই বিষয় নিয়ে আমরা আলোচনা করব। ওভারঅল সবকিছু নিয়ে, যেহেতু আসলে আমরা এভিয়েশন নিয়ে কাজ করছি অনেকদিন ধরে এবং আপনাদেরকে এভিয়েশনের বিভিন্ন গাইডলাইন আমরা দিচ্ছি। আ বিশেষ করে অ্যারোনটিক্যাল ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং অথবা এয়ারক্রাফট মেইনটেন্যান্স ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং অথবা পাইলট ট্রেনিং এর জন্য। তো আজকের পুরো সেমিনারটাই আমরা পাইলট ট্রেনিং নিয়ে আলোচনা করব। আ আমরা ইউএসএ তে আসলে কিভাবে পাইলট ট্রেনিং করা যায় এবং কত কস্ট পড়বে এবং স্কলারশিপ, স্টুডেন্ট লোন এবং ইউএসএ তে কি জব পাওয়া যাবে নাকি, সবকিছু নিয়ে আজকে আমরা আলোচনা করব। তো আমরা রিসেন্টলি একটি কোলাবোরেশন করেছি, সেটা হচ্ছে আমেরিকান এভিয়েশন একাডেমির সাথে। তো বাংলাদেশ থেকে স্টুডেন্টরা আমাদের মাধ্যমে আমেরিকান এভিয়েশন একাডেমিতে পড়তে যেতে পারবে। তো আজকের এই লাইভে আমরা এই আমেরিকান এভিয়েশন একাডেমির ২ জন ডিরেক্টরকে ইনভাইট করেছি। একজন হচ্ছে ক্যাপ্টেন টনি, যিনি হচ্ছেন ডিরেক্টর এবং ডিন অফ দ্যাট একাডেমি। অ্যান্ড আরেকজন হচ্ছে সিদ্ধার্থ, উনি হচ্ছে আ আমেরিকান এভিয়েশন একাডেমির সিইও। তো আমরা তাদেরকে আজকে লাইভে আনি। তো okay, so here you can see two director from American Aviation Academy. I already discussed about something about American Aviation Academy, and today we'll be discussing how actually students from Bangladesh, they can go to America or in Armenia, and then can go to USA to get their PPL and CPL, and then can get a job. So welcome to our live session. Here we are with two director of American Aviation Academy. One is Captain Tony. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Rahul, loud and clear. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So you can introduce yourself, then we can know more about your academy, and our students also having more questions. So we'll be asking you one by one.
No problem. Thank you very much. I say hello and thank you for all the people joining this live video chat. And we hope to get some very good quality conversation for today. About myself, my name is Tony Amir Raygan. I'm originally from Iran, born and bred in Iran, but I grew up in Australia. And my aviation career actually involved with the military. I was a fighter pilot in the Air Force, flying jets. Then I left Air Force, I joined civil aviation, so I spent about 15, 16 years in civil aviation United States as an instructor, charter, and aerobatic pilot. And meanwhile, I studied an MBA in the United States, Master Degree Business Administration. So I got my MBA from Murdoch University in Australia, Perth, Western Australia, if people there are familiar with that region. And around 2016-17, that time, I moved to Malaysia. So I worked with two different companies in Malaysia as an instructor, flight instructor. And unfortunately, due to COVID, so I'm sure everyone has some kind of painful memory about COVID. So regarding COVID situation, then aviation got to slow down very much. And then I decided to continue my career in a PhD. So I joined UTHM, University of Tanjung Hussein, Malaysia. And currently I'm a PhD student there. And the area of my PhD is very related to the topic that we're going to discuss for today, and actually the aim and the target of our company establishment. which is about pilot training, instructor pilot jobs, airline pilot jobs, student life, what they expect, what they want from their money and time and the commitment that they spend in this industry. So that would give a very good idea to the audience that the information they receive today is a very well researched information, and a lot of analysis we have done, me and my business partner, Mr. Sid here, over this business to finally we decide we can actually establish it, and it's a very, very unique program. And I will announce it now that we are the first and the only flying school in the world that come out with this program. So it's a kind of very unique program. And I will leave it to Mr. Sid so he can continue with the business establishment and his experience of extensive business operation.
Hello, good evening. My name is Siddharth. Basically, I'm Indian, but I'm running business in Eastern Europe. Recently, we started this aviation program in Armenia. We are bringing students to Armenia, giving all theoretical and all training in Armenia, sending them to US. They will get FAA license from our partners. So basically, this program is a unique program, and this is the first aviation pilot training academy in the Armenia. In the Republic of Armenia, there is no another pilot training center.
Yep. So the program we are presenting is very unique, as my business partner, Mr. Sid, explained it. We are the first in Eastern Europe that we provide full FAA integrated pilot studies syllabus. And based on our agreement with our business partner in the United States and our preliminary discussion with the FAA authorities in the United States, so far very good. They are very supportive and they accepted our proposal. And our system would be, we bring students into Armenia and we provide them with the full theories from 0 to CPL instrument rating. We only do theories for the first year. This is the program that we are expecting to execute. For the first year, only PPL and CPL instrument rating theories, full FAA syllabus, and we have, I can say, hand-picked instructors, all of them qualified with the FAA syllabus and FAA licenses, FAA procedure. They are all qualified with the FAA licenses. Our instructors, they are from a range of backgrounds. We have instructors from Sri Lanka, we have instructors from UK, instructors from Pakistan, instructors from India, and instructors from Russia. So as you can see, we are very multiculturally diverse, and we celebrate and we encourage diversity as well. To have our school in this way more friendly for our students and more acceptable. So when we finish our theories, which takes about 6 to 8 months, and the reason we say 6 to 8 months is depends the students' English ability, because all our courses they are in English. If the students they are okay with the English, they can sit in the class. We don't want students at PhD level for English, obviously, but we expect them to be able to sit in the classroom and understand what our instructors are teaching, and they can read, interpret, and analyze the information they receive in their tablet and in their study books. And I would say in that way, students, they can get the information they want about English language. Mr. Sid is continuing on that part.
On another thing, we have training programs for languages. We have instructors, language instructors from Bangla to English. We have instructor from Chinese to English. We have an instructor for Persian to English. We have instructor for French to English. So they can learn English also, basic English, whatever need required for FI license. They will get all training here that are optional things. Plus, our instructors, they are not particularly from the one country. They are from different countries. And almost we have tie up with right now currently we have tie up with eight different academies in the world. From their students will come here on this our 0 to CPL FII program.
Yep. So when we are planning for 6 to 8 months, the students, they may ask why Armenia first, then United States. Why is not straight to United States? Again, as I said, based on my experience and Mr. C's experience as well, we live in different parts of the world. And also the theoretical and the academic and the scholars materials and research and literature that we have reviewed before we executing this project, it's very important for people to have a transition level, a transition phase. I'll just give you an example. Just imagine we have a person, a student, for example, aged between 20 to 25, he never been outside of the country, for example, from Sri Lanka or from Thailand or Taiwan. Then suddenly this person ended up in the airport in New York or in Washington or in Dallas. So it would be a kind of a cultural shock for him. And that cultural shock may cause a lot of issues due to his learning, due to his training and his progress. So what we decided was to have a transition phase in between from Asian countries, mainly because most of our students, they would be from that side, to the United States. In that phase, students, they can get exposed to a Western system, which is United States, and Armenia is not exactly United States, is not exactly Asia. So they are somewhere in between. So students, they have that smooth transition in between. And during that 6 to 8 months, they can master their English language. And definitely they will be more competent when they arrive in the United States. Because based on my experience, when international students arrive in the flying school different than their own country, it's very difficult for them to make communications. For example, with the instructors, with the other students, control tower, and the radars, all the authorities there, it's very difficult for them. For that reason, we decided to have this transition. And students, they will be more competent by end of the course. As I said, we don't expect the students to have full knowledge of English language. As long as they can sit in the classroom, we are fine. Because they have 6 months of intense studies to learn their aviation theories, plus English will improve. By the time they reach their end of their theories, they are ready to go to United States. And around 6 months into it, I would say 5 months, 6 months, due to our in-house exams and our in-house assessments of the students, we can say that the students, they are at the level that they can pass the exam. So then we decide to send the students' detail to United States, our school partner, our business partner. So then they provide us with the I-24, which is a student sponsorship for United States. And then we do the arrangement with the embassy. So we get all the paperwork done, all the forms and TSA, Transport Security Administrative, we do all of that. And then the students, they get ready for embassy interview, which is not a really big deal. I would say it would take about 20 minutes, and mostly they go through the paperwork. Make sure all the forms are correct and all the documentations, they are there and they are enough. And I would say by the end of their course, the visa is ready. We arrange with our own school partner in the United States, and we provide them flight ticket from Armenia to United States. And by the time they arrive in the United States, our business partners, they are expecting them. They will pick them up from the airport. They accommodate them into their own accommodation. And it takes them about 10 days, students initially, to just get over the jet lag and also do their fingerprints because of the security requirements. And also they do their medical, FAA medical in the United States. Our expectation and estimate is within the first 10 days of their arrival in the United States, all the requirements will be completed, and then they start their flight. When they start their flying in the United States, I would say, I need to mention this one, that they do the CPL exam in the United States in their training center. Our school partners, they have their own training center and they have their own exam center. They sit their theory, not a big deal, because we've been training them here for 6 months. So they should be master of it without any problem. They go through it. They start their flying, and our estimation, based on our school partners' assessment, is it would take them about 6 to 8 months to finish all their flying, all the single engine, twin engine, and the check rides. And again, why we say 6 to 8 months? Because of different reasons. Could be because of bad weather. The weather is not good, so maybe flight bit delay. Maybe a student availability. Unfortunately, maybe some of them, they get sick, or maybe they go for holidays, visit families, or so they're away from flight. So we give that about 10 to 15% of extra duration time for that. So based on our academic precise estimation, we can say our student, they can get the FAA license in their hands within 12 to 18 months. From day one, when they step inside Armenia, within 12 to 18 months, the FAA CPL multi-engine instrument rating with minimum of 200 hours of flying, because that's a requirement from FAA, they need to have minimum 200 hours, would be in their hand, and they will be ready to apply for the job. So I would say this is the program we are having. Of course, it's not in full detail during this conversation. And now I'm open to you, Mr. Rohol, if you have any questions or any part you want to explain more.
We can't hear you.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Tony, for your brief description about your academy and your experience. We are very lucky that we have a very experienced captain in this academy. So a student who will go there, maybe they will get some more knowledge on aviation sector. So if I summarize your speech, a student first will go to Armenia, then they will complete their ground course for PPL and CPL. It will take 6 to 8 months, and then they will go for the flight training in USA. That's correct, right?
Absolutely, that's correct.
Okay. So this transition you are making because of reducing cultural shock, because from these Asian countries people, if they directly go to US, there's a very big difference of culture. So in this point, they can minimize some culture, and also they can learn English as well. And as Mr. Sid said, you also have a translator. I mean, instructor from different languages, right? Like if they are from India, they can cooperate with that, and if they're from Bangladesh or other countries, so you have that facilities in your academy in Armenia.
Correct.
Okay. We are also having some more questions from our students, but before that, I would like to ask you one question. What is the current market and industry demand for new pilots in USA? Because our students, they're going to USA, and after completing their PPL and CPL and all the course, they want to put themselves in the job sector. So can you briefly describe some the current market of the US, like the pilot needs and what is going there actually?
Okay, Mr. Rohol, thank you very much. Very good and on-point question. Before I answer your question, I need to mention another point. Why did we choose Armenia? Plus the cultural shock, actually prevention and improving English language before they arrive in the United States. The other reason is the cost. Now, I explain you a scenario. the people that they have aviation background, especially yourself, Mr. C, you can see how is the scenario. We have a student, just for example, this student is from Bangladesh.
Okay.
His English is not as good as enough as a person that who lives in a second speaking, English speaking language like Malaysia, for example, or like Vietnam, because those countries, they have more interaction with Western people there. Now, this student flies into United States. In the flying school that he actually submitted his application and he's enrolled. How they operate these, they teach the students theories while they are teaching them flying at the same time. So what happened is, a student is still struggling for his daily life, for his daily communication with the people around him, with the instructors, with the books. At the same time, he has to learn the flight while he's in the air. And having communication with control towers, having communication with radars, other authorities in the air, on the ground. It takes a lot of pressure. It takes a lot of time and energy also on and from the students. It got two actually negative effects. The first negative effect is obviously the cost, because the learning and the progress of the achievement and learning of the students, it get very slow because of his inability to cope with the speed of the training. So some of the courses has to be repeat. Some of the flying, it have to be repeat. So it costs the students a lot of money, costs the students a lot of time, because of his accommodation has to pay, because of his food and livelihood. The other side of it is the mental negative effect, because mentally students start to believe in himself that, oh my God, I cannot do this. This is very difficult. I don't understand this. I can't even make one small radio call for myself with the control tower. That causes him a lot of negative in his confidence, in his doing it. Even that may delay his solo flight for very, very long time. I had the students myself back in Australia. They were international students. Unfortunately, I couldn't sending them for solo for almost 40, 45 hours, even 50, because I couldn't trust them. While they are in solo, they can make a proper communication. So you can see this transition in Armenia is improve their cultural shock, cultural awareness, dealing with different people from different backgrounds, improve their English language, and also when they arrive in the United States, the theory already has been done. English is perfect. They know about Western system. They know about how foreigners they act and behave. That saved them a lot of money, a lot of time, and mainly confidence. They increase their confidence a lot. And based on our estimation, even the cost of their money, the training they have to spend in the United States, we dropped it by 50%. And the students these days, they are very smart. They can do their own research, do their research online to see cost of a training in the United States, how much is it? I would say you can't find anyone in reality less than $90,000. You can't find that. And that's what they say, that's a minimum cost. And this is not cost of the living there. So if you take your time in the United States, it would take you about 18 months to 2 years to finish your CPL. So cost of living in the United States for an average person, a single person in very, very moderate and modest livelihood, is about 30,000 US, 30 to 40,000. So we are saying 90,000 plus at least another 50,000. So it's about 150,000, 140 plus. And our cost is half. So that was a little bit of maybe more detail about why we choose Armenia. So now, back to your question regarding the market for the pilots in the United States. Again, students, they are smart. We expect them to do their research, because the more the research they do is making life easier for us and easier for them. Not necessarily for their job market, also for their studies, for where they're going, the country's going, food stuff. But now, back to this question. I expect the people, the audience here, or anyone else see this video in the near future. Just type 3 words in Google. Just 3 words. Pilot shortage in the United States. See what you get.
Okay.
the market in the United States is very, very big now regarding pilot jobs. There are some reasons for it. People may say, oh, because of COVID, so aviation was low, a lot of pilots lost their job, now they are coming back, so why should it be any pilot shortage? But I give you just a few reasons why there is a huge pilot shortage in the United States. Before the COVID, it was a pilot shortage. Anyway, we all know that. Anyone in the aviation, they know that it was a big, big pilot shortage. And the reason for that was average people in the society, their income was increasing. The economy was good before the COVID. So people, they start to do more travel, going around. And for holidays, for leisure, also for business, because when people, they had some money, start to do business, they had to go different places. And we know business activity requires logistic. So more goods and trades has to be happening. That's why it was a very high demand for pilots from the middle class. And also the existence of LCC, low-cost carriers, in United States and in Asia. But we are now focusing on United States. The pilot shortage was very big. Pilot demand was very high. Then airlines start to also open new routes. So they start to flying in the smaller towns which they had, airports. So they actually expand the airports to accommodate more aircraft and larger aircraft to fly in and out. Then the COVID happened. Okay, COVID happened. We all know that it's almost become 2 years now. It's almost 2 years. So airlines, of course, all around the world, they lost their percentage of operation. I would say most of them, they dropped to even 20%. So they lost 80%. So for that reason, they follow a lot of their pilots. And they sent them for unpaid leave. And they said, okay, wait, let's see when COVID overs or getting better, you can come back. But not all of them come back. We know that when some pilots, they get retired, they never come back. And the reason is because some of them, they got early retirement. We know age of pilot retirement in the United States is 65. So a lot of captains, especially senior captains, they are aged about 57 to 63, 62, become senior captain. So these people, they just took early retirement. They said, oh, okay, just leave it down. Maybe COVID was there to ask me to retire. So those people, they never come back. We had some other people that during these 2 years, they start new business, they start new jobs. Or maybe family, they had relatives, they said, okay, don't worry about this job, we start a new business. So now they're happy with the new business they have. They don't want to come back either. Now, another main part is the flying schools. So we almost for 1.5 years, flying schools, they didn't produce any pilot. Or maybe they were at their minimum capacity, maybe 20% pilot production. Now, the COVID is over in United States because their domestic flight is in 100% operation. International flight from United States is about 20% still below the level they had before COVID. But we just talk about the domestic job inside United States. So it's about 100% operation, coping and catching up with before COVID. But the flying school, they couldn't produce enough pilots because they were closed down. Not many international students, they could fly to their country to get the pilot training. A lot of restriction for people traveling from different cities to come to the flying school to the training. So we have 3 main reasons for the pilot shortage after the COVID. Early retirement, and some pilots, they don't want to come back, they start a new business, and also the minimum capacity of pilot production by the flying schools. They are the main one. Now, COVID starts to disappear, is evaporating because of people getting vaccines, so get permission to fly around. What happened is, airlines in the United States, they need minimum 1,500 hours for the pilot to be able to apply for the job. In general aviation, usually who got the highest number of hours, that 1,500? Flight instructors. Am I correct, Mr. Rowe? Flying instructors. They have the high amount of experience with the hours that required by the airline. Airline, they start to poaching them. They start to pick them up one by one. They give them very good offer. They give them, paid very high. Now, first officer in the United States, they are getting 70,000 plus, 70,000 US plus per year. It used to be 35 to 45. So these flying instructors, they're getting disappeared from flying schools, general aviation. So who is going to train the new wave of pilots coming in? You see, so now we got 4 reasons, 4 basic and logic reasons, and they are not excuses, they are reasons for pilot shortage.
Okay.
And United States, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
You can continue.
And what about the demand in other countries? Like if anyone get the far CPL, PPL, and then what about the job sectors in other countries, especially like Middle East and other countries?
Very good question. Very good question. I was getting there. Thank you very much to actually speeding me up on that side. Look, again, I want people to go and do the research. Go and do the research. FAA program, FAA system, FAA syllabus is going to be universal all around the world, except I would say Europe, because they stick with their own YASA programs. So a lot of countries in the world, they are adopting FAA system for many reasons, because of it's easier to navigate through, a lot of privileges is there. So a lot of countries in the Middle East and in Asia, they prefer FAA license holders. And the reason for that is because it's less headache for the employer, for the companies, because they know their employee, they got FAA license. Very easy to maintain, very easy to renew, very easy to maintain it and look after it and upgrading it. I'll give you an example. Maybe I'm actually advertising for that company, but no problem. This is part of our business. Our audience, they can check Oxford, Saudi in Saudi Arabia. They are very large, well-known flying school with state-of-art facilities. If you look at there, they only accept FAA flight pilot licenses. They only accept FAA certified flight instructors. And they pay very good money. So I would say their pay rate is, even with the minimum level of experience, American flight instructor license holder would be about 60, 70,000 per year, US, plus other bonuses, which is about $20,000 to $40,000 per year, like a retention bonus and also other bonuses they can get. Also, other flying schools in Philippines, in Indonesia, mainly they are looking for FAA license holders. So there is a huge demand for FAA license holders, whoever can have it in his hand. And demand is very good. Market is the right time. And sorry, I just mentioned this port, then I can pass it to you. This market is not going to be only for 2-3 years. It's not even in his peak. The peak for shortage would be around 2025. So it's just a start of it. You can see how much is the demand. It's just the start of it. And also, as I said, the student, they can search online. United States airlines, majors and regionals, average, they are canceling 1,000 flights minimum per every 4 nights. Every 4 nights, because of shortage of pilots. And this market will be up at least for another 10-15 years. I would say that.
Okay. Yeah, I also saw like in some other countries, especially in Middle East and Philippines, as you said, they directly accept FAA license for instructor, and the job opportunity is huge. And you also mentioned some reference here, so I hope student can get this. I have some questions. I mean, those from the new students who don't know about the license that are required to become an airline pilot. So could you just tell me a brief about the license they need to become a complete airline pilot?
Okay, to become an airline pilot, so we know airline pilots, they got 2 levels. Either you are a first officer or you are a captain. To become a first officer, this is the requirement by United States, because every country, every authority, civil aviation authority, they have their own requirement based on their own assessments. In United States, since 2013, after that crash in 2009 in United States, they come up with this decision to have the minimum flying hours for a person who wants to fly with the Part 121 as a airline pilot. Part 121 is a regular scheduled flight, which is for airline pilots. So minimum is 1,500 hours, plus some requirements like, for example, you need to have, I don't have the numbers exactly in my head, but people can find out. For example, you need to have 100 hours of night flying, you need to have 500 hours of cross-country, you need to have 500 hours of PIC, piloting command, which usually if people get 1,500, they can achieve those requirements too. So to join the airline in the United States, you need to have minimum 1,500 hours, but there are some exceptions there. If you have a university degree of minimum 2 years and above, that could drop up to about 1,000 hours. And if you are an ex-military pilot, then that could drop even to 750. Pardon me. So, but yeah, sure, go ahead.
Sure. So what I can understand, like to become an airline pilot in US, they need PPL, CPL, and then they can get the working experience, like to gaining the hour, minimum 500 to 1,000 hour, then they can join airline, right?
Yes, they need to have CPL instrument and the multi-engine. So CPL or your multi-engine plus 1,500 in average.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So now tell me about your academy, like the qualification that the new student they require to join your academy, like age, education, and English requirements and all other things.
Sure.
For PPL and CPL.
Okay, Roel, before I answer that question again, this is the requirement by United States. But in Asian countries, as far as I know, Malaysia, that I flew in Malaysia, they don't need that 1,500. With CPL instrument rating, you can straight go to their airline. So again, people
right.
need to do research in their own country or the country of interest to see what's the requirement. Now, your question about the minimum requirement for our students to join in. So, Mr. Sid, you want to carry on? Or?
You can.
Okay, so I continue. The age requirement, we follow the FAA requirements for the pilot license issuance. We have the minimum age requirements 18, but that doesn't necessarily mean the student need to be 18. We want to see that the students, when he is in the United States or she is at a stage to get the license, he or she should be 18. So that means the students, they can start with us with younger age, with the consent of their parents and the authorities to join our flying school. So we leave the age for 18 for now, but as I said, if you are younger, you can join, but we need to assess your situation. Education, we expect students to have at least high school. But again, it's not necessarily, but we expect that. And high school should be okay. Of course, people, they need to be able to read and write and actually speak properly. Usually people, they have the high school degree. English requirements, we looking at vocational English language. So there is no IELTS, there is no TOEFL requirements, none of that. English, vocation English is if you can able to perform your duties while you are on the job that you are assigned for. So that is a vocational English. And for us, if the students, they are perfectly fine with their English to sit in the class, that's enough for us. But we have instructors, they are native English speakers. So we can have, some introduction with our instructors and the students. So instructor, they can assess them if they are okay to sit in the classroom. So usually they should be fine. And for the physical fitness, that's we are not actually military, so we don't do that rigorous assessment for their medicals. But we expect the students to be fit, physically fit, and we have some medical forms we already preparing. So when the students they want to admit that the administration and they want to enroll, we send the forms to them. And our agents, our collaborators like your company and yourself, you can provide that form to them. Later on, we discuss that with you. Then Based on that form, they take it to the doctors. Doctors do the checks for them, and then they clear them for us. But there are some special checks we need to have that because we're going to conduct it in Armenia as well. After COVID, so people they are very very sensitive over the some diseases that actually can transfer to other people, like STDs. Definitely they need to be checked, and also some skin diseases and some maybe lung diseases like tuberculosis and other diseases that is in the form. So I would say it's not that hard, the physical part of it, the medical is not that hard. As long as the student, they don't have any transmittable disease, they should be fine.
Okay. So if I summarize your answer here, the age is 18, and then education should be high school. But in Bangladesh, we have high school in 10 years. So is it class 10 education or class 12 education?
As I said, plus 10 we still accept because there is no government requirement for education for people to join any training center. As long as the person can perform, that's fine. But the age also need to be considered. For example, if high school 10 plus 10, if the students is about 12, 14, that would be a little bit difficult. But if plus 10 is about 16, 17, that should be fine.
Okay, so education should be class 10 is okay, but he need to be 18 years old minimum.
No, he should be he or she. They must be more than 16 and a half.
Okay.
More than 16 and a half. So in 18 months they will get maximum in 18 months they will finish his course, practical, theory, everything. And when they are going for a license, that time they should be 18.
Okay, so 16 and a half they can join your academy.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And I got some other questions about physical fitness. What is the height requirements? Like we got some questions here.
Sorry, repeat again. What is
the height requirements? Like many people are asking if they are short, can they join pilot training? So is there any requirements about that?
We don't have any height restrictions because again, we are not military. Military is 160 centimeters. That's their minimum requirement, and I think is 190 centimeters for the tall. They can't be taller than that. But for us, we don't have any height restriction. But I mean, it's kind of a common sense. If the person is too short and he or she knows he's too short, so obviously that would be a little bit difficulties. But so far, I haven't come across any regulations in civil aviation that they have any restrictions for height, minimum and or maximum, and we don't have that either.
Okay, so he or she should be at least that height to touch the upper panel or to touch the radar, right?
Not necessarily on that one, because even for the closing the cabin, you can have cushion, because some aircraft their cabin is a bit high. Even me myself, I flew Cessna 172s. And I have to put the seat as high as possible and put the cushion as well. So it depends the type of the. There is no actually measure for that. I can't really say that. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. There's another question I usually get every time. Like, if any people they wear glasses, can they join pilot training?
Well, having a glasses again for civil aviation is not a barrier.
There is one another option. If candidate have a lower number like -1, 2, 3, up to 4, -4 plus 2. If they have these numbers in the eye, we can use a prosthetic lens treatment. In that treatment, it can be reduced some power. Plus, they have to wear in night. In daytime, they can. Not a daytime actually, sometimes 2 days and 3 days also, if they have lower power. They can see nicely without any specs. Plus, again, as Mr. Tony said, it is not a military. In military have some these requirements and all, restrictions about fitness, about hand like length, leg length, and all that things. It is in military, not in this. Another, as Mr. Stoney said, 15 hours, 1500 hours fly required for if you want to join a US any airlines. But if you just got a CPL license, then also you can join any job as a in a pilot training school or in any private company as a private pilot or something like that. So, in some requirements are from FAS, some requirements are from military. Both are different things. Our requirement is very simple. You must have to speak a little bit English, and you must write English, read and write. That's it. Okay. If your English is poor, we have instructors who can teach you very nicely. You don't need to worry about English.
Okay, if I mention some medical assessment, which is class A, class B, class 1, class 2, class 3 medical test, like in our aviation, civil aviation, they require class A, class B, class C. So do you have any requirements like that?
Actually, class, you call it, class A, B, C, or you call it class 1, 2, 3?
Class 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so it's similar. I think this is a equal rating. In United States, you need to have class 1 medical certificate to be able to operate charter flights as a PIC. Okay. But if you are over age 40, you may go to category 2, which is a class B or class 2. You still can operate charter as a PIC if you can maintain yourself healthy as category 1 or class 1. Even if you are over 40. But if you are over 40 and your medical fitness has deteriorated for whatever reason, you can go to class 2. In that case, you can fly charter, but as a PI, not PIC, as a pilot in command is category 1, you are second pilot in command, which is co-pilot. But with category 1, category 2, you can be a flight instructor until your last breath. No question about it.
Okay, I have now another question, which is like what the courses you are offering and especially the cost, because many people are asking about the cost to study in USA and if you have any scholarship or student loan.
Okay, so I provide the courses and Mr. Sid can go through the costs just very briefly or... Mm-hmm. Okay with that, Mr. C? Okay. So the courses we provide in Armenia for the first year is only theory. PPL, CPL is all included because it's integrated. So we go through all of the CPL. So the theory courses in Armenia is CPL plus instrument rating. When the students finish this phase, they move to United States. Then they start their flying, only fly. We did the theory. They just sit there, examination center with our school partner. Theory and test done, start the flying. They get it within 6 to 8 months. CPL, multi-engine instrument rating. This is the courses we have. And Mr. Sid now can take you through the course.
Okay, about the cost, we are offering full package. The package is including flight tickets, visa assistance, plus accommodation, food, until they live in Armenia. Okay, so total cost is around 35,000 for Armenia, 35,000 US dollar for Armenia. After that, they have to pay another 42,000 for United States, our school partners. Okay, we are offering them a temporary residency card for Armenia, social card for Armenia. When they arrive in Armenia, first we'll give them social card, then we'll give them a medical checkup facility. In Armenia, they must have to go through a standard medical checkup when they arrive, when they wanted to apply residency. And for residency, it's must required. So we will go through medical checkup by government rules and regulation. It is included urinal test, blood test, fitness, everything is included there. Even skin disease also. And accommodation, we are providing accommodation for male and female both separately. We have arrangement for both of them with security, with hygienic food, with uh, hygienic kitchen, toilet, bathrooms, everything. And we have a 24 hours services there also. Like if any emergency or anything, we have medical services. We have 24 hours attendance there. We have security, camera, everything we have in our hostels.
Yep, and I'll just continue with Mr. C's explanation. With our food also, we have the option for the students based on their religious or belief requirement, like a halal food, kosher food, or if they are vegetarians and those stuff, they are all there. And I just want to mention this to make it kind of like a more overall. When the students do the admission with us, from the moment they step inside their airliner to fly and arrive in Armenia, everything is with us. Even when you arrive in Armenia, you give us your ticket from your own country to travel to Armenia, and we will pay you back within the first month of your arrival, because we need to go through accounting and the money transfer process. So everything is with us from day one. You arrive in Armenia until we buy you a ticket and the M1 visa in your hand. We put you in the aircraft, we send you to the United States. So from your motherland airport until United States airport, everything is with us. We pay for your visas, we pay for your accommodation, we pay for your food, we pay for your uniforms, which includes shirts, trousers, ties, hats, we got everything, your shoes, belts, badges, winter jackets if you arrive here in winter. And we give you the study materials like your stationeries, pens, pencils, papers, books, also the tablets we provide it to you. You can have it, that's, for your studies there. And also, for the course of your study. And then we provide you with the study tuition materials like a Jefferson maps, ART, and all the requirements. You can have them, they are yours. And also study apps, we give you the subscription because we have our own special company. They're providing the best and the most current study materials online, plus the questionnaires from FAA. So from day one, you arrive in Armenia, everything is with us until you arrive in the United States. That is the first phase. And about the payment, you have two options. Either you can choose to pay everything upfront. For that option, you get some discount. Mr. Sid can take you through that. And or you want to pay it in installments within 6 to 8 months. So that would be your payment options in Armenia. But when you arrive in the United States, your payment option is a bit different. And we two companies, we are not actually interacting or transitioning any money between us. So students, they are independently pay for their own phases without any interruption from us or our school business partner in the United States. When you arrive in the United States, they provide you guys with only accommodation, not the food. And the reason is when we discussed with them, they said they get international students. Some of them, they have their own requirements. For example, some of them, they say, oh, I want halal food. Another one said, I don't want meat into it. Another one said, I don't want veggie into it. Someone said, oh, this is too hot. This is too sweet. This is so. They say they don't want that part. So the food is with the student, but the full accommodation, security, transportation to the school, to the city, to the shoppings, everything is with that company. Now, your payment in the United States is a lot easier, a lot easier than any other company. You arrive there, you pay as you go. No one asks you to pay. The cost is between 42 to 45,000, around that mark. So no one asks you to pay everything up front or pay half of it. It's up to you. If you can pay everything up front, well, do it. If you want to pay half of it, half of it. But the policy that we have with our school business partner is you pay as you go. So expectation is for 6 months, you can pay for 1 month's accommodation. Then you fly today, how much is the cost? You pay. Usually we recommend the students, they put 5,000 as deposit. So they start flying, they start doing things. When the 5,000 start to run up, another 5,000. So that would be the payment in United States.
Okay, maybe I can explain this in 2 minutes in Bangla, maybe because there's some students they're asking to explain in Bangla. Okay, the course, I mean, এই কোর্সটা হচ্ছে 6 মাস হচ্ছে হাঙ্গেরিতে করানো, আর্মেনিতে করানো হবে, এবং সেখানে পিপিএল সিপিএল কমপ্লিট করানো হবে, সেটার গ্রাউন্ড কোর্সটা করানো হবে, আর পরবর্তীতে ফ্লাইট কোর্সটা করানো হবে ইউএসএ তে। তো কস্ট হচ্ছে এরকম যে আর্মেনিয়াতে যে পিপিএল সিপিএল এর গ্রাউন্ড কোর্সটা করবে সেটার জন্য প্রায় 35,000 ইউএসডি খরচ করবে, 35K ইউএসডি, and then when they will go to USA সেখানে হচ্ছে বাকি 42,000 ইউএসডি খরচ মানে পড়বে। তো ওভারঅল 77,000 ইউএসডি খরচ পড়বে, যেটা বাংলা টাকায় 68,000 টাকার মতো। তো স্টুডেন্টরা গ্রাউন্ড কোর্স যখন আর্মেনিয়াতে পড়বে শুধু গ্রাউন্ড কোর্সের টাকা দিবে, পরবর্তীতে যখন ইউএসএ তে যাবে তারা পে অ্যাজ ইউ গো আকারে দিতে পারবে, মানে যতটুকু ফ্লাই করবে ততটুকু পেমেন্ট দিয়ে তারা পড়বে। তো এর ভেতরেই থাকা খাওয়া, হোস্টেল, অ্যাকোমোডেশন, ফুড, এভরিথিং ইন আর্মেনিয়া এন্ড ইউএস অলসো। Okay, so I have last question, which is related to job. So if any student they study from American Aviation Academy, I mean from your academy, and how could you assist them to get a job in USA? And there's another thing I also saw in your website, is about green card. So could you please explain something about this, how you can assist a student to get a job in USA, and whatever the stories behind this green card?
Okay, that's a very good question, because that was my expectation as well when I was younger, wanted to join airline and civil aviation to see, based on the money and the time that I spend, what I get at the end of it. As we discussed, the minimum requirement for the airlines in the United States, so we only talk about United States at this stage, is 1,500 hours. Plus all the other requirements. But not everybody has the 1,500 hours. We know that. And Mr. Rohor, if you can just remind me when I answer this question, when it's finished, remind me about the license conversion as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, not everybody got 1,500 hours, obviously. There are some gaps from the time that you finish your training, which you are about 220 to 250 hours, until you get your 1,500. Now, you have two options for that. The first option is, if you want to continue in the United States with some small charter companies, like, Part 135, you can go for that. And they are doing their own private flight. They do small charters around the United States, carrying passengers, scenic flights, tour flights, airports, and the air taxis. I mean, they do that for some small cargo, which are plenty of them, or even agriculture, or if they can actually take you in, well, why not do it? So that's one option. The other option is, if you become an instructor, which is, I would say, 80% of new graduates, they go to that side. I did it myself as well to Australia. When you finish, you get your CPL instrument rating. Based on FAA syllabus, multi-engine, based on FAA syllabus, you can apply for the course to become an instructor, which is not a difficult course, which is not a long course. It will take about 4 to 6 weeks. If everything is okay, if everything goes well, no bad weather, student availability, instructor availability, aircraft are available, 4 to 6 weeks. So you do about 50 to 70 hours of theory. Again, depends, how the student and instructor progress, but minimum is about 50 hours is expectation. And plus about 10 to 15 hours of flying requirements. There is no minimum maximum for that. Well, minimum, of course, you need to have 5 to 10, so actually learn something from it. So during that 15 to 20 hours of training with the instructor and the theory part, you learn how to express your knowledge, how to teach, because you know how to do the job, but teaching it is a different story. How to deal with the students from different background, different gender, different language. So that gives you enough time to get the basic knowledge. And then which cost you about 10 to 15,000 US with our school, with our business partner. Because I said, we have our own business model, we have our own program that we are about 30-40% cheaper than any other flying schools. students, they can actually do their own research. So when you get your instructor rating, based on FAA syllabus, there is no maximum hours you can do per year or per month. So the maximum hours is, as far as I remember it, if they haven't changed it yet, is 8 hours per every 24 hours consecutive. So that means you can get minimum 500 to 700 hours per year, easily. So in less than 2 years, I would say 12 to 18 months, you can get your 1500 hours as an instructor, which is a recommended path for students after graduation to take. Now, your question gets a little bit more detailed and more specific here, how we can help you with that. Because you are our student, you give us some money, you give us your time, you give us your effort. Of course, we give you our own intellectual property, we give you our own training. But it's not the end of it. When you finish your studies, if you choose to become an instructor, you can work with us because we need instructors. And the more students we get, the more instructors we need. And we prefer to employ our own instructors. Why? Because we know how you guys got trained for that. So if we can trust our own training, that means we can trust to employ you. So it becomes like a cycle for the students. Students, they come in from zero, they get graduated, they become instructor. Now they actually teach the new students they're coming in. So it's make it a lot smoother for the new students coming in because the previous students, they follow the same path. So in that case, the students, they have two options as well. Either they can fly in United States with our own business partner and teach their own students. I mean, they are our own students, teach their own friends, their own actually colleagues, they're coming in. So then when they get their flying hours up, they can go wherever they like, they wish to. Or if they want to come to Armenia, because our plan is in year 2023, we're gonna bring our own aircraft in Armenia. So we will do all the single engines in Armenia and we leave the twin engines and the instrument ratings and the rest of it and instructor rating in the United States. So the still United States phase is there because the license we are planning to be issued inside United States. So for that reason, students, they need to go to United States, get the license, and if you get the license, good news is never finished. Good news is coming up for the people they have the FAA license. You can directly apply for green card. This is a new regulation which is coming up by the United States government. Obviously, it's not a new regulation as such, but this regulation has always been there. It's for people with special skills. And in United States, this program now is offered to the people that they have FAA pilot license certificates. So if our students get graduated in United States with a FAA certificate, they can directly straight away apply for green card. And also they have 1 year visa to look for the job. So as you can see, the good news is never ends because it's the best time for anyone to want to become a pilot. And also this information I'm giving you is all of it is in our website. So students, they can go through it, and I strongly recommend audience, go through our website, read our website word by word. If any part is not really clear, if you still have some question, you can email us and we will contact you directly as soon as possible. Now, regarding the scholarship, unfortunately, we cannot provide scholarships for two reasons. The first reason is we are not on that financial position like a corporate. They have major airlines in their hand, like for example, Cathay Pacific or Qantas in United States, in Australia, or United Airlines and Atlas Air in US. We don't have such a luxury. We are very specific. We are not that small, but we are very specific, very focused people in one part of the business, which we are very good at it. Students can see how we actually come out with this business model. So we cannot provide a scholarship. That's the first reason. The second reason is we don't know how that person will turn out to be. So for example, if you provide a scholarship to some students, what if they couldn't finish the training? for whatever reason. They got medical issues, they got family issues, they got personal issues, they got some issues. So we cannot actually provide that scholarship, but we guarantee that the students that they get their FAA license, that would be in our contract. And when they get their flight instructor certificate, they will be employed by us. That's the guarantee we can give that, because we need pilots, and who are better than for us, the student that we train them. They know us for 2 years, for 3 years. We know them for 3 years. What else we want? Yep.
Okay. And what about the license conversion in FAA?
Okay, very good, Mr. Rohol. License conversion. Now, that's another actually sector in aviation that we are focusing to provide service and to receive compensation for that based on the service that we provide. Again, we are very specialist on that one, and we had extensive conversation with our business partner in the United States. What we mean by conversion? Not every pilot license holder is employed as a pilot. It's not like that. And we all been through that ourselves, who has a pilot license. In some stage of our life, we couldn't fly, we couldn't have a job as a pilot, but we were involved with other businesses. I just give you an estimate based on my best of knowledge and current knowledge. In United States, in Australia, is around 12 to 15,000 license holders. They are not employed as a pilot. It doesn't mean they are unemployed. They are actually sleeping beside the street, but they do other jobs, other businesses, for whatever reason. Another information that I received just a few days ago from Iran, Persia, there are about 2,000 pilots. They have license, but they don't have job, for whatever reason, job as a pilot. So this, big number of license holders in their own country, unfortunately, for different reasons, political reasons, economic reasons, and some natural disasters or something, they don't have enough aviation opportunity. We can provide conversion for the people, and we do their paperwork, we do their document assessment, we do everything us, we do it first. Then we send it to United States, and in United States, because every conversion license got his own specific training package, because not everybody come with the same scenario, not everybody come with the same experience. The difference, if we have students from zero, we know all of them, they have zero experience in aviation. So the program that we have is kind of like a unified program. So it covers everybody. But if you are a licensed convertee, your experience could be different with the next person to you. You could have, for example, 900 hours of flying. The person next to you could have 300 hours of flying. Less rating, different licenses, different experiences. So what we do is we get every candidate for license conversion. You need to have minimum PPL. So that's the thing. And PPL, you can get it directly in the United States. You don't need any exam or anything, just a medical. But to be able to do something, we talk about CPL and above. The convertee, a candidate, send a resume to us. We don't need all the documentation. Just a resume, the licenses, ratings they got, medical status, and also the hours of flight. Then we assess it, we send it to United States. They will come up with a special program only for that person that suits him to get his license converted. Now, we got two options for these candidates if they want to convert their license. The first option is, if they want to do it, come to Armenia, they go through us, we do the ground training for them here. If they are from countries that they have difficulties with their English language, so of course we take them through some English language courses as well while we prepare them for the FAA exams. So they come to us, usually that takes them about 3 months. And during that 3 months, they improve their English language, they pass that cultural shock, and also they get ready for the exam. Meanwhile, we prepare them for the M1 visa because they still need to get M1 visa. They still need to get that. And Mr. Robert, please remind me about M1 visa when I finish this course, because I need to provide very important information for the students, not to get into trouble. So during these 3 months, we do all the paperwork for them, prepare them with the English language, aviation theories based on the license ratings they want to go. We prepare them for their theory exam, and we get them M1 visa. So when the 3 months finish, they get the M1 visa, off they go. They go to United States, our school partner, they pick them up from airport, same scenario with other students. Take them to the accommodation, get the fingerprint, TSA check done, medical check done. Usually the conversion in United States is between 4 to 6 weeks, not more than that. It won't take more than that. Then they have the equivalent of their license that they have in their own mother country, and they can get the equivalent in United States. The same story would happen to them as we discussed. Now, this is the first option. The second option is the person, for example, for whatever reason, family reason, for example, they got wife, kids, other, priorities, looking after the parents or whatever reason, that person cannot come to Armenia. No problem. We still can do his paperwork in Armenia and in United States. The person send us the documentation. We send it to United States. We discuss it, come up with the training package, send it to the guy, to the lady or the gentleman. Based on the experience that he has, we give them the cost, how much that would be the cost, which I explained it to you now. Then the person can stay inside their own country, do their own business, attending their family life or whatever they do. When the visa is ready, the interview is ready for the visa, then we arrange with their own embassy in their own country, United States embassy in their own country, sorry, I just rephrased my words. They can do the interview there, get the M1 visa, go to the US. And when they arrive in US, same story, 4 to 6 weeks. If their English is good, if they still have problem with English, I cannot guarantee that. They may take even 3 to 5 months in the US because of the English language issue. As I said, we don't know that, we need to assess. Now, the cost involved, if the convertee wants to come to Armenia, the cost would be somewhere around $8,000 to $10,000, depends the situation of the person. And that $8,000 is almost $2,000 of it is only cost of the visa, is cost of the embassy, is not cost of us. So we are not charging for that, it's the embassy's cost. But the 6,000 to 8,000 extra, that would be the cost of the training here, the cost of the accommodations, the English language course, and the instructor course during that 3 months for getting ready to go to United States. Now, when the candidate decides to stay in his own country, doesn't want to come to Armenia for whatever priorities he has in his own country, the cost would be somewhere around $4,000. 2,000 only, again, we say 2,000, it could be less than that because of some countries, they need more fees for visa issuance, Some country, they don't even have that fee for visa issuance. So the cost is about, I would say, $1,000 to $2,000, US embassy cost. And then that would be $2,000 cost for our own company to actually arrange these paperwork and with the United States, with the embassy and fill the form and the rest of it. So come to United States, 8 to 10,000. So correct me. I'll correct myself. Sorry. Come to Armenia, 8 to 10,000. Stay in your country, around 4,000. Now, when they arrive in the United States, I would say a CPL instrument holder with a good level of English that can do the communication, radio calls, instructor interactions, it would take them about 10 hours of flying preparation plus a check ride. So you just think about 10 to 15 hours of flying plus accommodation. I would say about $5,000 to $7,000 in the United States. Okay, Mr. Roll, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, so I think this opportunity is a very good opportunity for the students who already completed PPL, CPL, and now looking for a job. So they can go to USA and they can convert their license, and you will provide the documentation things and all other things, and also provide check rides, like as you said, 5 to 10 hours. So I think it will be a good opportunity for the students who are looking to go abroad and who already having PPL, CPL, and you provided two options. One option is they can come to Armenia and then they can process everything from Armenia, then Armenia to USA. Another option, they can do it from their home and then can apply directly from their home to USA. Okay, now we will be finishing this live session within 5 minutes. I have last question to
Mr.
Mr.
Rawal,
Siddharth.
Mr. Rawal, sorry to interrupt. The last part I wanted to mention regarding the visa.
Okay, sure.
People that they want to go to United States for conversion, be very careful. Don't get distracted or get misinformed about the visa requirement. Because some flying schools, they are mentioning that ESTA, electronically, some kind of abbreviation, that's the visa waiver for some countries. For example, Australians, they don't need to have a visa as a tourist to go to United States. I just give you this example. Be very careful over this. Students or the already pilots, they want to go to US to do conversion. For example, with Australian passport, you don't need to apply visa if you want to go United States for visit or short business attendance programs. You arrive in the US, you apply online, you get ESTA approval, you fly to US, at the border security line, at the custom, the officer talks to you, okay, you got Australian passport, okay, why you arrive in US, can you explain? Say, okay, I'm here for visit or short business, meetings, and I go back. Then they get 3 months visa. ESTA is valid for 3 months. Now, we have M1 visa, which is only issued for students and is valid for 1 year. Some flying schools, to get the students and to somehow trick them into their business, they say with ESTA visa, you can come to United States and do your license conversion. Please do not believe that, because based on United States regulation, for any aviation training, if you go to United States, you must declare that to the US Embassy, US government, and the border security. You must declare that, and you must have an appropriate visa for that aviation training. So if you don't have that M1 visa, you go to US, maybe the border security doesn't know about these things, they just never ask you any question, just stamp your passport, you go in, you do your training, but somehow in the middle of your training, then the immigration officers comes in. Or when you go for your license to get issued, then immigration department knows about it. If they find out that you came to United States, did aviation training to get new license or ratings without proper visa, they're going to deport you. And that goes to your record. You'll never ever be able to go back to United States, and you'll never be able to get a job in United States.
Yeah. Okay, now I will come to Mr. Siddharth, and I will discuss actually how we work together, like our cooperations or all other things.
Okay, so I would like to say proudly, I would like to say that Aviation Aerospace Education, Aviation Aerospace Company is exclusive our agent for Bangladesh. They are exclusive. Like if any student or anyone want to join our academy from Bangladesh, particularly from that country, they must have to go through with Aviation Aerospace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and student also can come to us to get to know more about American Aviation Academy and all other things. So we will help them to become a successful pilot and to get PPL, CPL through American Aviation Academy. And also today we talked with the two directors from this academy, and we discussed all other things. I will make another video of these things of today's event in Bengali language, so you can get more talking today. So
Sure.
we'll be finishing this live soon. Is there anything you want to ask or you want to say to the students?
I would like to say to students, whenever they want to get admission in American Aviation Academy, they must have to contact you and your organization. First, they have to take admission. After that, we will prepare his invitation and other things. Like there is no embassy in Bangladesh, so they have to go through India from Delhi. They have to take a visa from Delhi. We will give them an invitation letter, a ministry approved invitation letter for get a visa. Meanwhile, we will send one our fitness form for medical checkup. They have to stamp and seal it by any hospital with all the formalities. Okay. After that, they will get a visa. When they get a visa, we will provide them insurance, and they have to take an air ticket. As Mr. Tony said, whenever they will come here, as per our account department, they will reimburse that ticket fees to them students within a month. Okay, it is actually ticket is providing by company only, from our organization only. But as per like we have students from different countries, so we would like to prefer they will book on self and reimburse that money within a month. So when they arrive here, immediately we'll pick up them from airport. We'll arrange accommodation, everything here. In like we are giving them 10 to 12 days relaxation time. They will accommodate themselves here nicely. Then we will start a batch for them. And meanwhile, we'll finish all documentation like social card, residency, medical checkup in Armenia. Everything will finish in that time. So we need around 10 to 12 days time to start up with them.
Okay, so in which month we are expecting to start the class?
So right now we are planning to start our first batch from mid of January and second batch from end of March. Am I correct?
End of March.
End of March, that's our expected time to start up. And so far we are agreed on that one. But if students, they can enroll and admit earlier, no problem with that. If we get good number of students, so minimum 10 for the earlier than March, because we have about 10 to, correct myself, between 20 to 25 students. They already agreed and they've been through some of the paperwork to be here around end of the March. But if we can get some students earlier than that, minimum 10, we can start a new batch even earlier, because those students that they already talked to us, they have other requirements to fulfill, like they have some exams in their high school, or they are not really ready, they need to get passports, their parents, they are not ready to send the students, so they talk to us about end of March. But if we can get 10 students minimum before 10th of March, we can start it at early February. So they will be the first batch. Those batch will be the second.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much to provide some information regarding pilot training. And we are very lucky to have Captain Tony and Mr. Siddharth in our live session. And we discuss everything very detailed, how a student can become a pilot from zero to an airline pilot, and also can get the USA FAA license and green card and all other things. And we also discussed how actually a student can do these things, and also the license conversion. This one is another interesting thing for the people who already completed PPL, CPL, and now looking for job. So I think you have enjoyed this live. We will have another live in next time with another session like this. I hope everyone enjoyed this. So see you in my next session and next video. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, and I really appreciate your time, and also the audience that attended this live webinar we had here. And my last recommendation is, please go through our website, read whatever we wrote there, word by word, sentence by sentence. I would say you almost get whatever information you need to know. And also, some of the questions I just briefly I saw, because my computer just ran out the battery there. So I saw some of the questions. They are very easy to find the answers online. For example, I think someone asked me how many models you actually go for the CPL. I mean, come on, you can find that on the internet. It's not 7 subjects. And some other CAS, they go for 5 subjects. It's not a big deal. Some of the questions you need to go and research yourself. Learn that. Prepare yourself. Make yourself someone as a research person. So become a researcher. Get as much as information you can from the reliable sources. If you still have questions, please contact us. We will get back to you as soon as possible. We like to see you too.
Okay, I already gave the link of the website. So if you have any other questions, so you can directly go to this academy's website and you can contact them. So also you can contact with us. We'll be providing more questions or more answers according to your questions. So till then, stay safe and stay home. Bye bye.
Same.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.